Completing the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA form, is important to be able to receive federal student aid. We're here to help you understand the steps you'll take to complete and submit your FAFSA form. After you select the schools you want to receive your FAFSA information, you'll invite any required contributors to your form. The FAFSA form will prompt you to invite a contributor based on the answers you've provided on the form so far, so not all students will see this section of the form. If you are determined to be a provisionally independent student earlier in the form, or if you're an independent student who isn't married or who filed taxes jointly with your spouse, you won't be required to invite a contributor. If you're a dependent student or an independent student who's married and filed taxes separately from your spouse, you'll be required to invite a contributor. Dependent students need to invite only one parent when completing this section. If a second parent is required, the first parent will invite them when they're filling out their sections of your FAFSA form. To invite a contributor to your FAFSA form, enter your contributor's email address in the provided text box and select Send Invite. This sends an invitation tied specifically to you and your FAFSA form. If you have a parent contributor with multiple children completing the FAFSA form, they'll need to complete a FAFSA form for each invitation they receive. After confirming your contributor's email address and selecting Send Invite, you'll see a confirmation as well as the invitation link and code that are unique to your FAFSA form displayed on the screen. You can save this information in case you need it later, but we'll also send you an email with this information. Additionally, you can find your unique invitation code by selecting your FAFSA form in the My Activity section of your studentaid.gov account dashboard. Your invited contributor will receive an email to participate on your FAFSA form. They can select the Accept Invitation button in this email to be taken directly to your form. They'll need to log into their studentaid.gov account. Then, they can follow the prompts on screen to complete the required sections, provide consent and approval, and sign your FAFSA form. Using the invitation email is the recommended method for your contributor to access your FAFSA form. However, if needed, you can also share the invitation link and code that you receive directly with them, such as through text or email. All contributors must complete their required sections of the form, provide consent and approval for the transfer of federal tax information, and sign your FAFSA form. Until they do, your form won't be considered complete, and you'll be ineligible for federal student aid. Remember, being a contributor on your FAFSA form doesn't make your parent or spouse financially responsible for your education costs. Once you invite any required contributors, you'll continue to the last section of the FAFSA form, where you'll review, sign, and submit your form. Learn what that means in our next video. Review, sign, and submit your FAFSA form. If you have more questions about the FAFSA form and process, visit studentaid.gov.